Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into another live stream. Monday. Yes, Monday night. Monday night during the summer. Last Monday in July. Feel like an old person trying to set up the stream. Did Trump say he's in the finals? Or he's in the files? No, Trump said that the Democrats planted the files. He actually opened up a little bit on the files and said some stuff today about his relation to Epstein and the break off of their friendship, the falling out, things like that. So I think he feels maybe a little bit more pressured to comment on it. But, he's still saying the hoax stuff. And how was my past weekend? Did I take the AI girlfriend out? Yeah, that's going to be normal, huh? That's going to be a normal sentence. But no, it's just very humid out. It's just it's annoying weather, I would say. But it's a pretty boring weekend, honestly. Just very hot. Very hot the past few days, very humid. You know the condensation on the windows at night when it doesn't even rain. I mean, that's how humid it's been. New York shooting. Yeah, it's right here. Middle Eastern man. So we'll see how this develops. I mean, it's still breaking. I didn't hear anyone had passed away or anything like that. So hopefully nothing bad comes of it other than this guy firing bullets, stray bullets, hopefully. What are you drinking? I'm just drinking Pepsi, honestly. Love how Trump gives a list of distractions to worry about rather than answering Epstein questions. I mean, yeah, but the Epstein stuff. I mean, at a certain point, there's only so much I can really say about it. The administration's gonna have to come up with something. That's about all I can say about the Epstein stuff. Because I mean, I've done like probably 10 live streams speculating on it. A few are dead, perp arrested. Wow, so it is a shooting that killed people. Did you see Cincy Brawl? Yeah, that was. I did a video on that. That was really bad. That was a situation where, that woman comes in. Maybe I'll go to the video if you guys want to see it. I mean, it's a bad video, but like, it happens like 3 times a year where these white people get just beaten up, and a lot of them just don't have demographical awareness of the situation. Sometimes they're drunk, but it's like this woman comes in and then just, I don't know if it was a Mexican dude. It looked like, I don't know, just knocks her out. Some black chick went over and grabbed her, and then the Mexican dude knocked her out. Why was she even beat up? I think she was going to the defense of the white dude, so she was trying to like push the dude that was assaulting the white. I mean, the white dude got assaulted. It seemed like 5 or 6 different times. Throughout that, like the video just kept going. Do you think Canada will get a deal? I do think Canada will get a deal. I'd be surprised. I mean, I don't think Canada can really sustain a high tariff. It would cripple them, the amount of trade that they do with us. And these countries, they realize it. Originally there was this thought process of, well, maybe if we do maybe if we just all trade with each other, we can phase out the United States. It just can't happen. I mean, Trump's put these tariffs on everyone. They could have used that strategy. They can't. They need the United States no matter what. You can only do so much trade with the EU or with China. You want to go to China, really? Come on. They're gonna have to do some type of deal with us. But Trump's gonna get what he wants if there's gonna be a deal, or else they're gonna get tariffs. What's up? You fly to Ohio in 2 days. All right, let me see if I can find this video. What's up, man? Well, there's actually a few other stuff I want to look at here. Dude, the liberals got so angry at this. They're like, Trump is taking a drop. This is like North Korea. This is Kim Jong-un. He's lying about his golf score. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at Trump. Look at this. Oh, the ball gets dropped by the caddy. Oh, so bad. It's North Korea. That's what people were saying. I thought it was a joke with these people, but I think they were serious. They were acting like animals. It's very animalistic behavior, yeah. I mean, that video was really bad. I mean, we've seen a few videos like that though over the past few years. New York shooter dead. Well, I would imagine. I mean, if you're doing a shooting there, they're gonna try and put a thwart to that. You're not gonna be able to escape. You're gonna be killed on site immediately if there's an active shooting situation in New York City. So, people have been telling me two or three people are dead, maybe. Looked like a Middle Eastern guy. Yeah, no, that's what they're describing him as. And so you got to think, you don't want to think like this, but well, what is his affiliation? Why did he do it? Is this going to be used politically? I mean, that's how you people think now. Matt Moore's TV just gave some great insights on Trump's Epstein involvement in a recent video. He gave some insights in a recent video on his channel. Thank you for the $5 donation. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, there's some stuff with Trump and Epstein. It's just like, at some point it's going to come out. I don't know. I don't know how many times I can speculate on it with Epstein. It's like, yeah, I've heard Trump's a good golfer as well. And I know it's just I don't think people really understand. It's just like you hit the ball out of bounds, you get a drop. You take a drop where the ball goes out of bounds. Actually, biggest political story nobody talks about is redistricting. Is that the Census Bureau messed up the count in 2020? They gave 5 to 10 extra seats to blue states. This is crazy when you look at this net miscount rate. Dark blue state, dark blue state, dark blue state, blue state, dark blue state, red, blue, dark blue, and then the ones that lost dark red, dark red, dark red, red, blue. Red. It's crazy if that's true. I mean, I don't know how many seats that equates to. Woman in Cincinnati getting sucker punched was super sad. Yeah, I know, and it's good people are at least shining a light on it. And with the X being more open, people are allowed to talk about it and stuff. And this Carnival Cruise came to Cincinnati. They're getting angry now on the Carnival Cruise. They're like, oh, they're not playing black people music because Carnival is trying to clean up their act, I guess. I mean, they become this trashy cruise line that's just known for like a party, ghetto type atmosphere. And so they were like, we're done with this. And now the black people are still going there, and they want them to party, and they're saying no, we're not doing it. So Carnival is in like a no win situation. Because how do you really repair your image from here? You're just gonna make more people angry. Biggest cope ever was the EU lady. Yeah, who even is that lady? That lady was just a random person, honestly. No, I don't know. Maybe she was someone important, but yeah, they kept showing that lady and talking to Trump constantly, and yeah, I mean, but she has to say they got a good deal. What else is she gonna say? Oh, we got ripped off. They're gonna say it's a fair deal. There's negotiations, but Trump obviously got the better of them in the negotiations. Did you see Matan Evan pay Tim Pool to take his beanie off? Yeah, that was weird, man. Honestly, that was Tim Pool was like, wait, did Tim Pool say his head was he's like I'm sweaty or something? What did he say? He said something really odd. He's like I'm salty. He's like I'm greasy. Dude, I don't know. He had to pay him to take it off. I thought he just took it off because he challenged him. He's like, if you give me $10,000, I'll take it off. Like, come on, man. The Minnow sends his regards. Thank you for the $5 donation. You sort of doubt GTA 6 coin in 420 69K. Yeah, I'm only in 420. The GTA 6 was unfortunate. You know, when they delayed it, that coin got cucked. I think that coin will probably still do pretty good. But that coin got cucked when they delayed it, dude. I think I lost money on that coin. The 420 coin, I think could do better. But, you know, dude, honestly, that coin is, Trump is going to be signing it might be a trade, unfortunately, because I wanted it to be a long-term hold, but, you know, Trump said he was signing an executive order. So when that gets signed on that crypto 401k, that might be the time. All right, the Cincinnati video would be down here somewhere. Here it is. I have to go to this, and then I wonder if I go. Oh, there we go. So it's just two black guys. Looks like 3. Looks like 4. And a woman. And a black woman. So it's like 4 black guys and a black woman. I don't know why it's not loading. Looks like maybe Vietnamese. See, these other white people need to get out of there. You just got it. It's just, and like, unless you're a dude that can defend himself, you're a woman. You're not. You need to have awareness. I'm surprised the dude got up. But I mean, no, then he fell. And then here, okay, here's the white woman. Where is she? I think that's her right there. Yeah, so it's this black dude wailing on him, so she goes to try and break it up. So this is the woman. Damn. And then this black girl goes in and hits her, and then there's some dude over here that knocks her out. This black woman hits her from behind. And then you got the black dude. Oh shit, this is, I mean, it's like, yeah, you got to have demographical awareness. But then I know people say, well, you know, it shouldn't be like that. Well, I agree, but obviously it is right now. What do you want me to do? Being in America while white. Well, yeah, and it's crazy that was at a jazz festival too. I mean, I don't know what's, you know, but I'm not even going to say that because I do think that's a cop. Ooh, what started it? I mean, come on, look at that. That's next level animal. I mean, just ridiculous behavior. Move out of blue cities. Well, you shouldn't be in any major cities. Yeah, really. And people say, well, you're retreating, but that's ridiculous. There's no way I would live in you know, the city has to be a certain you know, makeup, honestly. If you want to have security, and any major city is run by Democrats. Here, you take a look at this. This was a good tweet. Top 10 most dangerous cities based off violent crime and the mayor's party. Oh, they're all Democrat. And so it's this Bermuda Triangle because they're soft on crime. Yeah, I don't know if she's okay, honestly. They said that she would, I mean, she might have suffered something. You know, you never know with that when you get knocked out. It's very dangerous. It could be, you could be okay. You could just have a concussion, or it could be a longer term problem. reverse the races. I know, but dude, it's like, how many times do you have to say reverse the races until you just, I understand you want to call out the false, but it's like that's all anyone says. It's like, well, how do we move the conversation? Phil, what's up, man? You see Starmer spending lots of time with Trump answering, censoring people. They obviously censor people. That Labor Party put in the censorship policies, and they say, well, it protects young people. But come on, that was an original policy from what I saw from the Conservative Party. So that's why the Labor Party tries to say, well, it was the conservatives that wanted this online censorship, but the conservatives wanted like it to protect really young people. And the problem is they're censoring apparently just politics and right-wing stuff. At least from what I've seen, they were censoring Trump's own site, Truth Social. Thoughts on white-only commune? Yeah, have you seen that? That's been making some noise. Yeah, I mean, you buy a private plot of land in a rural area. I mean, rural areas already are overwhelmingly white anyways, but you buy a private lot of land. I'm not even sure this would really be a story. Like, would this seriously, to me, I think they're making it a story themselves, and I don't, the group, maybe they want the attention, but it's like, couldn't you go to rural cities in America that are probably like 100% white? So what does that mean? Like, I don't really understand. Like, how is this like, if you took a major city and said, yeah, we're gonna segregate it, you could understand people being up in arms about that. But if it's a rural area in Arkansas, there's other rural cities in like Wyoming that are probably like 99.9% white anyways. So I don't understand what the issue is, and it's all private land. Private rural land. Censoring the word suicide was supposed to cap. Yeah, to me, it's all a cop out. They want to control what's being fed to people. That's what I think it is with the UK. I mean, I'd have to check. Yeah, maybe it is just certain things, but I think it is political. I mean, otherwise it wouldn't be making this much news. Thoughts on who will be in the files? Yeah, it looks like. I mean, you can just speculate. Bill Clinton, Kevin Spacey, um, Summers, possibly. That's what Trump was saying. The Harvard president. Love the Deejings crypto videos. Yeah, yeah. I do like making them, and I think I'm gonna build it up a bit. I'll try and build it. I mean, I pretty much am already monetized on there. Believe it or not. Not that I'm gonna make much money on it, but it's good to kind of just have a smaller channel like that. Living rural is amazing. I mean, I don't think I would ever truly live rural, but I definitely live in terms of like you need land. I mean, you need your, even if it's just like half an acre or whatever, a quarter an acre. I need my own plot of land. You don't want to live with a bunch of. I mean, maybe earlier in your life that's something that you can do, but once you get to settle down, you really the type of living should be suburban or maybe even you live on a main road, but the road's not utilized very much. I would never want to live on a main road though. Now that I think about it, I just don't want to deal with the traffic. And main roads, the speed limit is higher as well, so it's more car noise. Chris, thank you for the dollar. Post more on DG too. Yeah, I mean, I go in waves, but it's like I was streaming a lot, dude. Honestly, most of my income comes in from streaming right now, which is a lot different than it used to be. Even when I would stream a lot, it wasn't like that, but now it's like that. So that's why I stream more. But now that it's the end of the month, I was just like, because the way YouTube Pay works, you kind of you get paid once a month. So towards the end of the month, you kind of wind down, and I might focus on more evergreen videos for the next few days. I don't know. Did you see Happy Gilmore? I did not, but I heard it was terrible. There's a lot of these celebrities in it. I heard it was very bad. 4.5 acres and you're 10 miles from a grocery store. Yeah, that's not bad if you're 10 miles from a grocery store. That's the big issue with the rural stuff is how far away you are from. Like I would want to be near a city. You don't want to be in a city. You want to be near it though. Or it depends how big the city is, but in general, you know, that's the big hang up in terms of that. You want to be near it doesn't have to be a big city. Juan, what's up, man? Wanting to make illegal citizens. Padilla, Alex Padilla, that dude. Yeah, I don't think any of that's gonna happen. There's no appetite for that, making illegal citizens. Downside of owning a house is upkeep of said land. Yeah, that's true. It depends, but the land costs, the property taxes on the land. Depends what climate it is in some cases. Depends what you put on the land. Thoughts on CNN talking Epstein more and more like Jake Tapper? I don't know what you mean by that. I think they're talking about it more because of the Trump involvement, and so that's very, appealing to them and attractive to them. How many vids you post today? You've been watching your crypto vids? Crypto vids like one to two crypto vids. You ever been to Gary, Indiana? I wonder how much of Gary is left, honestly. Gary would be an interesting place to visit, yeah. It's considered the worst city in America. Just the most abandoned, most poverty-ridden. Guardians pitching staff been fixing it. Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's based on micro bets. I think it's kind of ridiculous, honestly. Like, they get these guys. I mean, these guys are really dumb as far as I know. If you guys don't know about that scandal, at least from what I see, the betting now has got to the point to where it's pitches. So you can bet on pitches. Is the first pitch of this at-bat going to be a strike or a ball? And so supposedly some Guardians pitchers, I mean, the issue is there was a significant uptick in volume on a few pitches, and the MLB investigated the pitches, and the pitches were very uncompetitive, meaning the pitcher was trying to throw a ball because it was like 5 feet from the plate. It's like, why wouldn't you really, if you're a player, it's like, okay, if we put $20,000 on this frickin' first pitch being a ball, that's and I throw the ball into the fucking dirt, that's probably going to raise some pretty big concerns. Maybe, like, that's what because they're like, well, they flagged this because there was an irregular amount of volume on the first pitch ball, and then they look back at the ball, and the ball is fucking spiked 10 feet in front of the plate. They're like, okay, this dude's probably doing this on purpose. So I think they're just dumb for doing that. But the Guardians are a low budget team. They should sell. They have not been good this year. They really do need to change their name back. And you get what you pay for. They don't spend any money. Turbo or Ty. Yeah, those are two very different coins, man. Turbo's a meme coin. BitTensor is the #1 AI decentralized coin crypto. So I don't know. I mean, it depends. Do you want a meme coin or not? Turbo is a high cap. The Tim Pool bald video. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think there were already photos of Tim, but yeah, there's Tim. I'm surprised he doesn't shave. Normally, you shave the sides as well. You look cleaner when you do that.
I'll hold your beanie and you hold my money. Let's make it even.
Wait, how much money did he give him? He actually has a lot of money.
Right there. No. Put it close. Put it close. Move it closer.
No, I'm not retarded. I'll give you
Just put the money right
Take your
there.
hat off.
I will. Put the money right there.
Do you have give me a verbal agreement?
I'll give you a verbal agreement. If you put the money in mine, I'll take my hat off.
Yeah?
Yep, contract. Sworn. Pinky.
You're gonna take a different hat off. You're gonna tell me you didn't tell me when you took the hat off. I know these games. There's no way you're gonna do
I
it.
will take my hat off in this chair right now within 10 seconds if you put that money in my hand.
Wow, I can't believe that happened. Hold on. You have to. Can you leave it off?
For a little bit.
Okay, that's cool. I got like a special.
I'm greasy right now too, though.
You do actually have more hair than
What
I
does that
thought you
mean?
would.
I'm greasy.
Do I?
Can I have the Pepto-Bismol?
Why?
I have a sudden stomach ache. I'll hold your beanie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the problem with it is if he wants to get a hair transplant, I don't think it's really possible for him. It really depends if he has enough hair, that to where he could transplant it. I think he might be missing too much. You might not have enough hair to cover that amount of surface. I think that's the problem. Thoughts on how mafias ruled unions? Like the frenzies? I have no thoughts on that, Chris, honestly. Tim's got Captain Pritchard's look. Yeah, I mean, you could just shave the entire thing. It would probably, I don't know if it would look, but I'm sure he's tried it, but I don't know. He needs to go the Joe Rogan route. Yeah, the issue is there's a problem sometimes with bald guys. Rogan can pull it off better, I think, because it has to do with how it's something to do with his skull size or how big his forehead is relative, like, to where Rogan, I think, also has like a shorter forehead in general, but Rogan is also buff, in better shape in terms of like being able to pull that look off. There's a way you can pull it off, and I guess with Poole, people say you can't do it. People already saying the dude started the fight and deserved the stomping. Well, I think this is the reaction. That type of reaction where they gang up like that and they constantly beat that man. Whatever he did which honestly I highly doubt he really did anything based off of a lot of previous history with these type of situations. But whatever he did to invoke that type of behavior is just it has no place in American society. It just doesn't. So if you were to defend that would mean that you are part of the issue. No matter what he did, that would be my response to that. But I mean, true, with these situations, they happen a decent amount where these white people get beat up, and I'd be shocked if he really did much to, in terms of the argument he said type thing. Okay. Thoughts on Dallas, Texas? Would you move there? No, I wouldn't move to Dallas, man. I wouldn't move to a city like that, but that city is also, it's the population's too much for me, and the weather is too much for me. It's too hot. Who's the dude near Tim? Well, this is the Maton. This kid's like 18 years old, I think. He's like a podcaster. He has like a funny little podcast. These dudes, I think, are just no names. I don't know. He was white. That's what he did. Well, no, I mean, it's certainly, potentially a racial situation. You're bringing San Diego weather. Yeah, it's actually going to be nice. You're right. I don't know when you're going to be here, but Thursday, Friday, it is going to be very nice. You actually got a really good timing. It's going to be in the 70s. The highs are going to be in the 70s. It is going to be maybe a little bit hotter than San Diego, but it depends which days you're coming. But you're coming from San Diego to Ohio. That's a strange vacation, man. It's like people in San Diego, they go to vacation and it gets worse for them. But I mean, I guess you could go to like Turks and Caicos or something and have a good vacation. Looks better bald instead of beanie 24/7. Screams insecure. Yeah, I mean, to me, I think he says you can say it's a cope, but he says he does it because that's how he's recognized. He's recognizable with the beanie, I guess. I mean, it is what it is, but I think that's what he says. Maybe at some point he'll just go with the bald look. He threw away years not taking off his beanie for 1K. He got 1K for that. Rogan did good not interviewing. Yeah, did you see Rogan was offered to interview Netanyahu? He declined it. That would have been an interesting one. I wonder if Rogan really would have tried to grill Netanyahu. Probably not. It's probably better to stay away from that. It's crazy how radioactive Netanyahu is now in American politics. It's like the polar opposite of what it was, before 2023. Active shooter in New York City, 6 people shot, including 1 officer. Yeah, I know. I heard that's a very bad situation. So we'll see what happens with it. It's still developing, and there's gonna have to be the suspect. That's gonna be, we heard, Middle Eastern man. We'll see what happens there, but it's gonna turn into a political situation probably pretty quickly, at least on my timeline. You'll be here Wednesday through Friday. Girlfriend is a huge Vikings fan. Wanted to see Jared Allen's Hall of Fame ceremony. Oh yeah, you're going to Canton. Okay, that makes sense. Travel to Springfield, Ohio. Vlog about Haitians there a year later. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't really think that's a concept that would do all that well. I mean, I'm open to doing abstract videos, but I don't know if that's really a concept that would do well. Maybe if I did it last year when people were talking about it, but because people do like the on location stuff, I do see that a lot. Do you want to move to Nashville? It's nice. You have the Tennessee Titans, their new stadium. No, I wouldn't move to Nashville. Nashville is extremely expensive now. Or at least that's what I hear, and that's what everyone says. They say the surrounding suburbs are very expensive. It's like any young white couple that is, it's like they all move to Nashville, with all in the surrounding areas down there. They all go to Nashville. They all go to Tennessee. It's like it's the younger Gen Z, younger millennial, upper Gen Z type moving spot, at least on the eastern side. Or it's one of them, I guess you could say, Florida as well. Can't wait for the independent grifters to call the New York City shooting in Israel Epstein distraction. Well, I mean, that's coming, especially if it's who people think it is. With the description of it being a Middle Eastern man, obviously people are going to say it's some type of something done on purpose to paint Israel in a better light, and that's just, you just have to understand and be aware that that's what happens. I mean, we'll see what the reports are, and this individual, unfortunately, a lot of the times when the perp is really not, there's not a ton of information that comes out about him. Did you see Bill Maher apologize to Trump on tariffs? I did see that. Yeah, Bill Maher does that. He'll admit. I mean, I didn't even know he was criticizing Trump, but it's all of them were criticizing Trump on the tariffs, and so, I think a lot of them are saying it's wait and see. Some of them have come out and said, well, Trump was right on the tariffs, but that's something that they're probably going to dig in, a lot of them, and say, no, it's going to cause inflation. You just have to wait. There's a lag. Maher is someone that doesn't really care that much about, giving Trump credit. A lot of these liberals hate Trump so much they can't do it. They won't give him any credit, and we'll see maybe in 5 or 6 months. But do you see Faze Banks coin drama? Have you seen what Faze Banks looks like? I mean, this is a grotesque individual. I mean, if you look at this guy, it's like, dude, where was that one? Dude, like, what is this? Bro. I guess this is the Faze way. I don't understand that. I don't understand that, bro. But this dude, I don't know what happened. He's in the MLG coin. He sold it all, something like that. Yeah. Jasmine Crockett, looks like there was a profile done on her. Her phone's lock screen is a photo of herself. So is Trump's. She thought she deserved to be on the top dem on the oversight because she has the largest social media following. Well, you know these people, they love the social media clout. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Faze Banks and just that. Like, how does that even happen? I guess the dude is rich, but it's like, man. Did you see the woman who got pulled over with dead kids in her car? It's a crazy video. I don't think I've seen that, no. Yeah, yeah, Phil, you've seen those. I don't watch those videos. I saw a few of them. That's boomer slop. Look at the thumbnails on those videos on those CoffeeZilla videos. Overanalyze. Yeah, no, that's what it is. It's every headline that comes out, he gets a million views, so he's gonna keep doing it. I mean, that was like me and the Titan submersible. You know, sometimes you get into this thing to where the algorithm just, on a certain story. But with him, he's obviously like a closeted liberal. He wants to appear this bullshit. Like, people see right through it if you understand partisan politics and you do this fake independent shit. Like, you care about victims and stuff. Just stop with the charade, man. People see right through this. I mean, do you think we were here yesterday, man? Really? You're going to come out now, start covering politics and, the boomer slop thumbnails. Aiden Ross exposed Faze Banks. What a headline. We really need her to be the top Democrat. Dem Party would be the retard party. Well, I don't think they're gonna go with her. To me, I think the Democrats at some point are gonna have to say, they're in like this malaise where they don't have a leader, and someone like Jasmine Crockett to them, it has to be someone that was just like, okay, our part, Jasmine Crockett was popular in the Democratic Party when our party had like a fucking 19% approval rating. If our party is gonna be healthy and successful, people like this need to shut up. Now, I don't know if they would actually do that and tell her to just shut up because you're making the party look bad. But some of those people, they like it. I mean, that's like the typical TDS, so Trump is bad. But she has like the least nuanced takes out of anyone. So you would think they would kind of sideline her and say, okay, this is, it's not very convincing. Yeah, that's the problem if you don't have the knowledge on it, and just there's a lot with the Epstein stuff. I mean, there's a lot with it. It's very deep, but it's also something to where if you do a little research on Trump, it's just based off of a number of things, it would be surprising if he was really all that involved in it. The Bill Maher clip.
I remember along with probably most people, was saying at the beginning, oh, by the 4th of July, somebody had to think how the country the economy was going to be tanked by then. And I was kind of like, well, that seems right to me, but that didn't happen. Now, it could happen tomorrow. I'm just saying that's reality. So let's work first from the reality of that, not from I just hate Donald Trump. Because that's boring and doesn't get us anywhere.
Wow, and that's that Brian Tyler Cohen. and he just babied this dude like he's a 10-year-old. Bill Maher embarrassed this dude. Wow.
Leads you to dishonesty, because the truth is, I don't know
He's
what
like
his
having a sit-down conversation with him.
strategy is. But look, the stock market is at record highs. I know not everybody lives by the stock market, but I also
Well, they cared about the stock market on Liberation Day.
drive around. I don't see a country in a depression at all. I see people out there just living their lives. And I would have thought, and I got to own it, that that these tariffs were going to fucking sink this economy by this time, and they didn't. So, you know, how do we deal with that fact? Because that's the fact.
Yeah.
Well, I would have liked to have seen his response. I think he would have said it's a lag, but I think a lot of them are still going with it's a lag and it's going to affect it. Who the hell watches Mark Levin? Genuinely wondering why he has a show. Well, it has to be boomers. It has to be boomers that watch him. Trump watches him. Trump watches him. You should see what Trump tweeted out or truthed out. He's like, everybody turn on Mark Levin right now. Stop what you're doing. Really good video on immigration, Black Pill. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, Trump has his own club here in Scotland. This is his own I don't know if it's a private club or some maybe a golf club. I'm not sure exactly. Some type of private estate here. Do you watch any Fox News shows? I don't at all. But I never really watched Fox News. It's not necessarily the thing is I've watched CNN more than Fox News. I probably haven't watched CNN or Fox News as actual TV shows I mean, I don't really watch TV. I mean, I'll see clips on X. That's about it. But that's yeah, it's just Sean, what's up? The whale. The whale enters. It's a golf club. Yeah, it makes sense. Europe has some nice architecture. They really do. With Europe, they always deal with the overcast. It's very overcast in the United Kingdom. Ireland's very overcast. Colder weather. They have the thing to where it gets into the 70s. They never have any AC. That's the thing, because it never gets into the 80s, so they don't think they need it. Europe, or at least the UK. Good movie on Netflix. I haven't seen Netflix in a while. There was a good movie that's what was that movie called? What was the movie with Ben Affleck in 2019 maybe? It was like they were trying to escape with a bunch of money. I don't remember what it's called. But the thing is, I don't really know what's on Netflix. I haven't watched it in a while. Happy Gilmore 2. Yeah, Happy Gilmore 2 is on there, but I heard it wasn't good.
This may seem more of an internal type of scenario, maybe a former employee, because it seemed that he knew exactly where he wanted to be and where to go with respect to operating or using an elevator to get up onto a particular floor, not necessarily just laying in waiting downstairs. And Jesse, I wanted to take this opportunity. This is a perfect example for your viewers to understand that have a plan in place. Don't overthink things, but when you go to work and you're in an office type of environment, milliseconds can be the difference between life and death.
Right, so maybe he worked there, apparently they're saying. Don't you think it's sad that the Democrats are constantly living in a state of bad stuff is going to happen because Trump, and they're actually rooting for it and hate good news? Well, I just think it's kind of where partisan politics is, and they hate Trump, they do. But there's a lot of Republicans that, we're gonna say negative things about Biden, and so it's just the party. But I do agree with you. I think with Trump, it's like a pressure cooker. They really do hate him, and it's next level. We don't really know, we haven't really seen anything like this with how much those people hate Trump. I mean, it's a different breed, and so obviously they're gonna root against him. But I think everyone is kind of used to it at this point. You ever see Agenda Free TV guy? No, I haven't. Do a reaction channel. I don't really actually like watching videos on camera. I try and limit it. I think it's boring, and I'm just, sitting here doing nothing. The reaction stuff is, I don't know. We think we're in a good spot to win midterms. Yeah, I mean, I think the midterms might be a little challenging in the House. If they're able to redistrict a bunch, there's a chance for sure. But also, it's just way too early. I mean, I don't think, to me, I think that it's like 50-50. The House is 50-50 until further notice. So liberals will say they've got like a 70-30 chance. I think they're probably waiting for the redistricting and how that's going to happen. They're really nervous, they are, because they know Republicans have the advantage in how this redistricting is going to happen. So they're starting to threaten and say, oh, we're going to redistrict in California and New York and New Jersey. There's very little they can do because of the independent commissions, as far as I know. They might be able to swing one or two, but if you're talking about widespread district changes that could create new seats, I think the Republicans have a significant advantage in terms of that, which is important. Thoughts on the EU lady? I don't even know who it is. She's just like the press for the fucking European Union, or maybe for Scotland or something. Remember when you tried to watch the Rogan Trump interview? But that's crazy that you remember that, because I do remember that now. Yeah, that was dude. Well, that whole thing, that whole thing was just how do you watch an interview and react to it? You can't. You're just gonna talk over them, and that's the thing. So I just shut it down. I guess people got mad, but it's just like there was nothing of quality that was being added, because I couldn't really talk. Nobody wants to hear me talk when they're watching this fucking, what was this huge interview. Suspect wore a bulletproof vest. Good amount of planning behind it. Yeah, I mean, this is a crazy tweet. I remember seeing this tweet, when Mondani was running in that primary. Just a crazy, crazy tweet. Queer liberation, even saying the words queer liberation, and then adding on defund the police. You know what city you're in, man. You know there's going to be a lot of crime with the population density. Maybe defending the police is, I'm not sure that's going to help much. I mean, it's like literally the dumbest thing you can do. But they say, well, that was back. A lot of these people said defund the police. Now they take it back because they said it in 2020. So they try and then they try and run for a political office. They're like, no, I'm not that radical. Please, I'm not that radical. I'm not that radical, because they want to get power. But I mean, look at the Somalians that are in office. You see the recent thing that was tweeted by all the conservative accounts about that. There's like 10 different Somalians that hold office. I don't know if it's all in Minnesota or what, but it's all these liberals. I mean, this is modern liberalism. You can easily make an argument that this modern liberalism leads to globalist identity with these type of people, because all of these people you see, they're all liberals. They only get elected through the Democratic Party. Say what you want about Republicans, we're not electing these people. These are globalist entities, like Ilhan Omar, like the mayor of the potential new mayor of Minneapolis, like the potential new mayor of New York. Don't you think that the numbers for the past 6-7 months where voter registration, Republicans have been outpacing Dems in registration, is current canary in the coal mine for a red wave? Yeah, I don't know, but I've been seeing that. I saw it with Pennsylvania's been shifting. I don't know if are they changing throughout the entire country, but they've been shifting that way for a while. The overall voter registration. I don't know, man. There's so many factors with the midterms. You're gonna get a lot less people turn out, so it's harder to gauge exactly how the midterms are gonna go. You know, they do have a propensity problem, the Republicans do, and so that's going to be talked about ad nauseum, and hopefully it ends up not being a big issue. Great Trump weekend. What, Trump for the weekend? I mean, you know, Trump, he was in Scotland, and there's not really a grade for Trump. I think he did a really good trade deal, but he was golfing a bit. I don't know, is he coming back today? I thought he would have already came back by now. Russia is pissed at Lindsey Graham and Trump. I know that Trump now is giving Russia 10 days as an ultimatum. It's not gonna. That's gonna drag on longer. I mean, it's very obvious that he might as well just put the sanctions on right now instead of doing this 10-day thing. I don't think Putin's even entertaining it. I haven't heard what Putin said about it even. I don't even think it's being entertained. Trump putting this ultimatum on Putin, basically threatening him with heavy sanctions if he doesn't negotiate with Ukraine, and there's been just no talk from what I've seen with Putin. Do you think we can Florida, Pennsylvania? I don't know if it's going to be the same degree. I mean, Pennsylvania, with Florida, you had DeSantis, and you kind of had the perfect storm of COVID and being an open state. And I mean, you could say it was probably going to happen anyways, but to me, I think Florida was a perfect storm. A state like that, where it's such a swing state, it's got so many people to swing it as much as they've swung it. You know, that's a peculiar large swing. That's beautiful. It's beautiful. But Pennsylvania, you maybe to a neuter degree, maybe like a 3 or 4 point advantage you could enjoy. I don't know if I can see Florida where it balloons to 10, 12. I mean, maybe. I mean, look at what happened to Ohio. And what happened to Ohio was just like that. But Ohio and Pennsylvania, I think, are a little bit different. They are similar states, but I mean, Pennsylvania with Philadelphia and the population there, it's just, what is it? Pennsylvania has Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. Is there another big city? State College is like just a college town. Russia will not care about sanctions or tariffs. They do care about Ukraine getting military supplies. Yeah, and that's already been okayed. I mean, the way in which they're doing it is a way, I think, where Trump probably likes it, to where he can kind of save and say, well, we're selling the weaponry. We're not, we're not giving it, or we're not just giving it to them for free. We're selling it. Because that's what the liberals did, is they just gave it to Ukraine, and then they said, well, it's like decommissioned, or it's old, it's outdated, and that's how they justified it. All of the weapons that went to Ukraine. And also, they say, well, we can weaken a foreign adversary without direct involvement. And honestly, that's kind of what Trump is doing, but Trump is getting them to pay for it, the European countries. Harrisburg, Philly, and yeah, but especially Philly. They are saying the shooter was doing it for Palestine, false flag. I don't know, man, but will this really do anything, honestly? Like, you don't want to be morbid about it, but what was this? What happened in this shooting? Did one person die? Because didn't we just have a situation where 2 Israeli diplomats got shot? And did anything really happen after that in terms of, change the public opinion of Israel? So I'm not sure this really changes much. Tim Dillon. I mean, Tim Dillon, apparently he had dinner with J.D. Vance. So it's, Tim Dillon gets in the crowd with Rogan, and then, you have access to people. So you get networking like that. Did you see the video of the white couple from the U.S. who moved to Russia and then set the husband? Yeah, I that was one of the things I reacted to one of these times on my stream. What an overkill. You want to move away from woke culture and you move to Russia? Why not? You can move to a conservative state and it'd be fine. A rural area of a conservative state, you'd be a lot safer. I'm not sure I believe that story, or I think it's almost unbelievable. You want to hear what the wife has to say? Like, why would you go to Russia as an American? That's just not. That's not really advisable. Thoughts on looming civil war in the UK? Well, I don't know if it's going to be a civil war. I don't. I mean, how do you really predict something, especially us in the United States? I don't know what's going on there and how bad it's gotten. I know in London it's gotten terrible. But look, we'll see. I mean, to me, I think even the liberal government now is kind of anti-immigration because they have to be. There's a huge sentiment of being anti-immigration in the UK. I mean, if the Labour Party comes out and says we have to stop taking immigrants, you know that the entire population has shifted. You could move to Poland. That's what people are saying. They say go to Poland. Poland's gonna be split again, though. We're gonna see it again. Another pact between Russia and Germany. Titan 74 Russia economy will fail in a year to a year and a half. Yeah, I don't know, man. With stuff like that, it's like you really predict something like that. They've got a ton of resources, Russia does. People say, well, China will fail, Russia will fail. I don't know, man. I mean, they're you could say they're exhausting themselves in this war, but it's hard to get an exact gauge on their total like military expenditure relative to where they want to be. I mean, I think they probably wanted at least half of Ukraine, but it's all speculation. I don't know. I wonder if there's an actual stated goal. I think the stated goal was to make Ukraine a puppet state, honestly, and maybe take back some of the oblasts. Phil, thank you for the $100. Very nice donation. I appreciate it. Poland and Hungary are based. Yeah, there's some Eastern European countries. There's a lot. Somebody was telling me about the Eastern European countries and vacationing there, and they're very traditionalist. They're very nice, some of those countries. $100, a very nice, another whale emerges. If you're going to be an expat, go down south. Bizail official language is English. You don't even have to learn Spanish. Also, much nicer weather. Thank you for the $5 donation. Yeah, I'm not going to leave the United States. Vivek spoke to the woman who was violently beaten in Cincinnati. She's a single working mom who went to a friend's birthday party. So did she know the man? There was no police present in the area. There was not an ambulance to take her to the hospital. Yeah, and then here come leftists. Oh, it's because of your private healthcare system. Yeah, well, if it were up to us, I think the way that I don't think this type of crime would be a problem. But this is the liberal cities, and this is what they turn into. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any real updates. Cincinnati is I've had family that's gone to Cincinnati. Cincinnati's just like, It's similar to Cleveland in a sense. I mean, there's bad areas, there's good, but you would think at a jazz festival, you have got to be careful in these major cities, man. You have got to be careful. You cannot stress it enough. With other people, people just assume everyone thinks the same way. They wonder why people are making a white-only town in the Ozarks. Well, that's the thing is, I don't understand the issue with that if it's private land and there's already rural towns in the United States that are like 100% white. I mean, they're going on private land. They bought like 100 acres or whatever. I don't know what they bought, but... And then they have an issue with it. For creating their own commune or settlement on acres in Arkansas. Vincent, I appreciate it. Thank you. Chances of Michigan winning the Natty and Big Ten title, I think 0. I'd be shocked if Michigan's starting a true freshman. He's a good player, or he's a really good recruit, but I don't think there's much of a chance. Yeah, I think I did a video on that the clip. Yeah, this happens a lot with these gay couples. All the time. You see this all the time.
Hi, Mr. Vice President. Julie Carr-Smythe from the Associated Press. I guess I'm going to be that person. There are some protesters outside accusing the GOP of protecting pedophiles, and we're wondering what you think are the reasons the U.S. government should shield the client list of Epstein from the public, and what you have to say about any relevance to that here today.
Well, let me say just a couple of things. First of all, the president has been very clear. We're not shielding anything. The president has directed the attorney general to release all credible information and, frankly, to go and find additional credible information related to the Jeffrey Epstein case. He's been incredibly transparent about that stuff, but some of that stuff takes time. You've got to assemble that stuff. You've got to compile that stuff. You've got to redact some victims' names so that you protect the victims. But the president has been very clear. He wants full transparency. He's asked that from the attorney general. And I know, because I talk to her all the time, the attorney general is hard at work on that issue right now. But I think I got to make an observation that there's an interesting thing about this case that the American media seems to totally ignore. For 4 years, under Joe Biden's Department of Justice, the media didn't give a damn about the Epstein files or about the Epstein case. For literally 20 years, the story about this scumbag, and he is a scumbag pedophile, Jeffrey Epstein, he's dead now, but for 20 years, you had Obama and George W. Bush's Department of Justice go easy on this guy. They didn't fully investigate the case. They didn't show any curiosity about the case, and now Donald J. Trump is asking his Department of Justice to show full transparency, and somehow that's a criticism of Donald J. Trump and not Barack Obama and George W. Bush. If you want to criticize the people who aren't showing full transparency, you ought to go after the administrations that went easy on Jeffrey Epstein, the administrations that concealed this case for 20 years, and the administrations that failed to show full transparency. Donald J. Trump, I'm telling you, he's got nothing to hide. His administration has got nothing to hide, and that's why he's been an advocate for full transparency in this case. He's going to keep on being an advocate for full transparency, but while we're focused on that case, Donald J. Trump is also worried about making sure these great workers get more take-home pay and better jobs, and that's the focus of the administration. Thank you.
Right. So, Vance obviously had that response ready to go, and people saying it looks like a deflection, things like that. You bring up the opposing points, and he's not. What do you want him to say? I mean, they have not handled it well, but he's not going to say that. JD is not the guy. JD did good. Yeah, I mean, people are split on Vance, but we'll see. I think Vance is definitely the favorite. Rubio recently responded to being asked about if he was going to run, and he basically said it should be Vance. Whether or not that matters at this stage, I don't know. But I'll be right back.
On the Epstein files, or your name has not appeared in the Epstein files. But doesn't the AG have to tell you if your name?
Well, I haven't been overly interested in it. You know, it's a hoax that's been built up way beyond proportion. I can say this: those files were run by the worst scum on earth. They were run by Comey. They were run by Garland. They were run by Biden and all of the people that actually ran the government, including the auto pen. Those files were run for 4 years by those people. If they had anything, I assume they would have released it. The whole thing is a hoax. They ran the files. I was running against somebody that ran the files. If they had something, they would have released. Now, they can easily put something in the files that's a phony. Like, as an example, Christopher Steele, a person you know well, happens to be from your country. But Christopher Steele, as an example, wrote a book, a dossier. We call it the fake news dossier. And the whole thing was a fake. The whole thing was a fake. They can put things in the file that are fake. But those files were run by bad, sick people. If they had anything, why didn't they use it when I was killing Joe, and then he gave out because he was 25 points down, and then I got somebody new. Nobody even knew anything about her. She was a horrible vice president. She was a border czar, but she never went to the border. She never once called a border patrol agent to find out how we're doing, but she was the border czar. Her name was Kamala. Nobody knows her last name. It was Harris, but nobody knew her last name. So I ended up, how would you like to end up in a race where you're killing somebody, you're beating him, and then they say, all right, we'll take him out. He's not working. Let's put somebody else. And then she had a 6-week honeymoon. It was amazing. They predicted she will have a 6-week honeymoon, and she did. And then she got slaughtered. But think of it. Those files were run by these people. They were run by my enemy. If there was anything in there, they would have used them for the election. Yeah.
No, I mean, that is 100% right at the end. I mean, they would have used it for sure. Unless it's this crazy thing where they're covering it for anyone bullshit. You really think they've got dirt on Trump that's going to end his political career? They're not going to use it. Come on. Now Trump is saying it. He's saying what we've been saying, and he's got the talking points now. New York shooter identified. Well, we'll have to take a look at that. So the files are a hoax, but they would have used them against him. Makes no sense. Well, I don't know what he means by hoax. I never said it was a hoax. I think he means him being involved in it is a hoax. That's what I think he means. I never understood him when he said it was a hoax. It doesn't make any sense to say that. Unless he's talking about, again, his involvement. If they used the dirt on Trump, it would have exposed the Israeli connection. They can't. I mean, people already know about the Israeli connection, I feel like. And also, there's things you can expose with Trump without really revealing it, honestly. You just expose the crimes that he committed in relation to Epstein. How does that doesn't really expose Israel. You think he's suggesting they added fake information to the files? I think he suggested a lot of different stuff. He's suggesting like they added his name and other people's names. But that's just something he started saying, like, I feel like yesterday. He needs to be more specific. To me, it sounds like they planted fake evidence on him in the files. But yeah, why would they plant fake evidence if they weren't going to use it? What movie should you want me to recommend you a movie? Well, I don't know what movies have you seen. I don't know what movies you've seen. I have like 3 or 4 favorite movies, I'd say. They're all like space related, but because Epstein was ethnically Jewish, he's Mossad. LOL nonsense. Well, I mean there is some very clear parallels, or I wouldn't say that honestly. I'd recommend you go watch my video on it. Trust me, I wouldn't say it if it was not. There is some serious, how did Epstein get his money? Well, go look up Les Wexner. Go look up the Mega Group. I mean, it's not a good look. You do some research into it. What do they mean by protecting victims? Protecting from whom? Well, I guess, if the victims' names come out, then people might, they maybe they become public or something. I don't know. Mean Gene, thank you for the $100 donation. That's the second $100 donation of the stream. I appreciate it, from Florida. The whale from Florida. Yeah, no, that EU deal is amazing. As of the Friday jobs report and the first print of second quarter GDP. When is that coming out? When is that coming out? That should come out real soon because it's like a month later. But I think the second quarter GDP is going to be +3, maybe +4 if I had to guess. It's not because he's Jewish, it's because there's actual links. I know, that's what I was saying. There are legitimate links. Saturn Dream, thank you for the $10 donation. Hey, if I may, you mentioned a Twin Towers Lego version in a video. You've actually been seeking one out, but you don't think Lego made one? No, you're right. It's right behind me. Do you see it? It's actually right behind me. Yeah, no, Lego doesn't make it. You're gonna have to get it from a Chinese seller. They're very low cost to probably pay you. You have to buy 2 North Towers, and then you just take the antenna off of one of the North Tower. But there's a website that you can find them on AliExpress. You could find it on some Chinese sites. I could give you some, but that's how you would get it. Lego refuses to make a Twin Towers, even if honestly it doesn't even matter. Even if Lego made a Twin Towers, it would be a small scale, and it would probably be $500 or like $300. I mean, they overcharge everything. Trump absolutely dominated the EU. Yeah, it's an amazing trade deal. Everyone's been talking. Even liberals have been talking about it. National debt increase per day slowed down by 87% since January, from 4.15 billion to 562 million a day. That's a real number. It's slowed down by that much. I mean, that, it's still a lot per day. It's slowed down by 80. Is that sustainable? I mean, because they got these tax cuts coming in. Did you see clips of No Zempic Fat Camp? Yeah, I saw a few of those. The Aiden Ross run Fat Camp, where they play musical chairs. Lego Twin Tower set 2,000. No, it would be less than that, but it would be the size of, like, for a small desk. It would be a very small scale. That's just what Lego is now. You think EU has been stuck between Russia and the US for a long time? They're just, yeah, it's coming home to roost. They're realizing you can't rely on Russia at this point. They're having to go away from them, so they're kind of taking one for the team. They should make the North and South Lego tower sold set. Well, I mean, this is what, like, a mock build, so it's not an official set. It is the North Tower, but you just have to buy 2 North Towers. Will NASDAQ 420 ever hold a cent? What, 10 million market cap? Yeah, you just got to keep holding it. I think it'll do very well. You can't really look at, like, the price action day to day. You'll be absorbed by it with crypto. Just the thing is with NASDAQ, you want there to be a runway. You'd like to see the coin have a run, like, before we actually hit the alt season, because then if we can get to, like, 50 or 100, then during the alt season it'll compound itself and it'll do crazy numbers. So we would want it to have a run before alt season. I don't know, there's a Chuck Schumer clip or something.
Over the weekend, Donald Trump announced a new trade deal with the European Union. It will result in a $90 billion per year tax hike on American families. When you raise tariffs, the American families pay for it. $90 billion tax on American families in this tariff deal with the European Union. Donald Trump is, as usual, trying to hype up, exaggerate, and lie about his accomplishments. Donald Trump always lies, almost always lies about his accomplishments, and this is no exception. Over the weekend, Donald Trump announced a new...
It's weak. It's weak. XRP is retiring us. Maybe if you're already a millionaire. Maybe if you invest $5 million into it, it does a 3x, then maybe. Late to the party, but great EU deal. Yeah, it's just like, it was a perfect storm. They were reliant on Russia. They didn't want to be reliant on Russia anymore. We could kind of squeeze them because Trump knew that they had to do a deal with us. $90 billion versus $700 billion. Yeah, I don't even know where he's getting that from. I guess that's just from the calculations of the 15% tariff. They always equate it to a tax on consumers. That's not how it works. It doesn't get passed down. More times than not, it doesn't get passed down. It depends how it's implemented. Depends the price, the cost. There's a lot of stuff. Why they're not talking about the drone situation? The drone situation at this point has very little relevance. It went away. He's not getting it from anyone. He's just straight up lying. I'm sure they probably calculated it somehow. I think he was talking about it based on the 15%. In terms of potential tariffs, but the drones on the East Coast, I think that's what he was talking about, I believe. Approval rating. This is remarkable what Trump has done. Now, Trump's a little bit different because, it's non-consecutive terms. But it is interesting you put it into perspective. Even with this Epstein stuff. 2 cops shot, 1 dead. Shooter's also dead. 6 people so far shot. So that's the update. 6 people shot. I don't know if any of them are, what their condition are. New York is a horrible place to live. I mean, it's brutal, man, with the crime, just the you don't even live in a you don't even have your own place to live. You don't have your own land. The land is so expensive. You live in an apartment on top of people. There's crime. It's $4,000 for a studio apartment. I mean, it's like people have to do it for their job, and some people like that, but because just the bustling of the city, it's tough. Depends. You have to have the right personality for it, the right. Wonder what Biden's. Yeah, but all right. I'll go to rapid. Trump's golf club. Eric Trump makes the trip. Don Jr. makes the trip. They wanted to play golf, I think, with him.
And we made a deal where they're going to buy, billions and billions of dollars worth of our product and our energy. They've opened up the entire European Union for free trade, which is something that nobody thought could happen, so that our countries can now go in there and compete, which is a big, it's one of the biggest markets. Might be the biggest market, somebody said, but it's right up there when you add the countries, all of those countries together. And we have the right to work there. We don't pay tariffs, and they will be. We're bringing the tariffs for them to.
Think Trump is going to go hard on acquiring Greenland to build a pipeline to supply the EU with gas and oil for now from U.S., Greenland, UK, then split off. Well, yeah, Greenland's a strategically important spike. It gets us closer to Europe as well. There's a number of things you can do with that. You can station nukes in areas. So there's a lot you can do with that strategically. Subscriber count. Yeah, I'm at 298 now. It's getting there. So probably I said early August. It'll be early August sometime.
To 15%. They're going to buy $600 billion worth of our military equipment. They're going to buy hundreds of billions of dollars of other equipment and $750 billion worth of energy. And it's a great deal for both. I think Europe's going to be very happy with it. They seem to be very happy, and their market's doing good. And it's a deal good for peace. We have all these countries. If we didn't make the deal, there'd always be like a hangover. It would be not good. But it's a great deal for the United States.
Thailand and Cambodia, they had a little spat. It got resolved. There was a negotiation with the help of the Trump campaign, from what I heard. Do you think those were aliens at the Miami Mall? No, I don't think that's how aliens would appear. I can't really believe any of this type of stuff. I mean, there have to be aliens. It's impossible. The odds of there not being aliens are so low because of how big space is. But the alien encounters that people say, it's hard to believe them just because there's so many. Can you talk about the censorship they're trying to implement in the U.S. following the UK's playbook and protect? Right. I'm not sure exactly, the whole protect the kids thing. What does that mean exactly? So protect the kids. Would it be like under 16, you can't view certain things? Isn't that what it would mean? And then when you turn 16, it should be open, right? I don't really understand how they could we're going to protect the kids into censoring like conservative media. Is that what, I mean, because I don't know if that's what happened, but I mean, it seems like it seems very nefarious. It doesn't seem, and apparently the Conservative Party was the ones that introduced it, and it kind of went awry, and the Labor Party took it over, and Ludnick was Epstein's neighbor. They lived within the same vicinity. I wouldn't. Yeah, they lived like a block away. You see the video of libtards trying to stop ICE from doing their job. It's unfortunate. I mean, you just got to keep doing it. At some point, they're gonna get bored, and they'll be able to do it. People have to understand this is what's happening. I mean, the people are gonna be deported. Who wears more makeup? It is crazy, man. These guys. I think it's got to be Brett Baer. I don't know. I'd have to look at Hannity though. Baer's got a lot on there. Ludnick does as well. You can see I don't even know what it's called. Delta issues statement. Happy about the trade deal. American Iron Steel Institute issues a statement welcoming the deal.
The big EU deal joins a list of deals already secured, including the UK, Japan, Vietnam, Indonesia, and the Philippines. Perhaps more, though, still on deck. So we know this is a big deal for America, but is it a big deal for everyday Americans, for you, right now, watching at home? We know it will benefit the folks on Wall Street, but how does it affect people on Main Street? Let's figure that out with the host of Making Money on Fox Business, Charles Payne. Charles, great to see you here today. Let's start there. Everyone's watching you right now. They watch you over on Fox Business. They see these big deals. They see these numbers I just put up on the board. How is it going to hit their pocketbooks?
Well, the investments, the $750 billion natural gas. Think about all the folks in America who work in the natural gas and the fossil fuels industry that just a year ago, the White House was trying to put out of business completely. So the money from that alone is going to be phenomenal. $600 billion invested in America. Foreign direct investment, one of the underpinnings of any economy. We're lucky that we're so attractive, but even more so now. These numbers, they sound, it's, I guess saying $600 billion now rolls off the tongue, but it is enormous. It is absolutely enormous. And again, the whole idea is to rebuild our industrial base. Well, right now, to be quite frank with you, we entered into a protracted war with China. We couldn't produce enough ships. We couldn't produce enough of weaponry. We could not. We've given it all away. We
still can't build ships. They got a new ships initiative now. I think Trump does. What was the country, maybe South Korea, that wants to do a trade deal with us involving a big investment into our ships? We can't build ships. China's building like 30 times the amount of ships we are. It's a big problem. Takes decades to repair shipbuilding capability. Well, no, I hear you. Obviously, we don't have the infrastructure right now to do it. It's all about this trade deal, looks like. Obviously they're going to go and talk about this, but this is like a lot.
I'm really excited to catch a glimpse of the President of the United States. I think I really admire what he does for the US. He really is backing and standing up for his people and what's right for his country. So I only hope our Prime Minister could take a little bit of advice or inspiration from him.
And we're just super excited to get a glimpse of him today, and we'd be even more excited to get to meet him.
I've traveled to Scotland from Germany in order to record President Trump's motorcades. So far, I've been to Turnberry a few days ago, and now I'm here in Aberdeen.
Ever since there's been, the fake Russia hoax, the assassination attempt from last year, all the kangaroo court hearings, all of these things, they've just made me double down on the man himself, the resilience that he has as a character.
We're all Trump supporters. A lot of the media reports that all Scotland hates Trump, and not the case. We think the majority of people are for Trump.
I'm
The
really
sun.
excited to catch a glimpse.
The sun having a little fun there. $100 donation. Been enjoying your streams past 3 months. Keep it up, bro. I appreciate it. I don't think I've seen you in the chat yet, man. But I appreciate the donation, man. That's a silent donation there. Don't like chat, just listen. No, I hear you. I get it. Any updates on my car? No, I still have the same. I don't have a new car or anything like that. But I'm gonna have to wait for crypto because I just don't want to. Doesn't make sense right now. I know. I'm surprised they got this many donations on a random stream about a trade deal. I'm not getting a Tesla, man. I look when I was younger, I looked at Teslas. I was looking at Teslas, like gently used Teslas for like 33, 34K. Maybe you could even get into the high 20s. Although I don't know if you can. If it's an old model, you might, depending on the amount of miles on it. New car prices are just dumb high. Yeah, no, they are. You want a decent car, new car, it's 50s, maybe 40s if you get the base model. Cybertruck is the best Tesla, dude. What are Aren't Cybertrucks like 120K, or are they less than that? Will Germany be hit with the U.S. secondary sanctions because they buy Russia oil in India? I don't think so. I don't know. Was that a stipulation? I don't think that was a stipulation. I think they were just going to invest into U.S. energy. But I mean, there's obviously going to have to be some type of coordination with these tariffs that Trump is supposedly putting on with Russia. So I don't know how that's going to affect Germany. Start at 65K. Maybe I was thinking of the hype price when they first came out. Something weird about the mass shooting. Killed himself on the 33rd floor. What do you think? Well, I mean, that is common for them to do that after, shooting, because they don't want to live. They don't want to face a jail time. But it'd have to be investigated to see what the motive was. I mean, it is odd to go up to the 33rd floor, but obviously it was they were targeting some type of business or corporation. If you're going to go to the 33rd floor, you would think. Kira, so yeah, I don't know. Starmer, they said, was like 5'9", 5'10" in this. So then he visited his own international golf club, I guess. Weather sucks right now in the States. Way too hot. I know. There are cold pockets, but they're like in mountainous areas. I've been looking at the weather and looking at all the temperatures throughout the country. I mean, really, the eastern side of the U.S. is just, it's so humid. It's in the high 80s. There's too many gingers in Ireland. That's really the only place you'll find them. It's really the only place you'll find them. What is it? 10? They say it's 10% of the population in Ireland, or is it more in Ireland? I thought I read somewhere it was 10% of the population. Move to Montana. I don't think I could do the mountain time zone. I think I would rather just do east or a central time zone. Mountain, although I don't know. I probably could do it. It'd just be annoying. Utah is hot. Been in the high 90s. Yeah, it's hot everywhere right now. There's no dip anywhere in the jet stream, so I guess we're both getting hit with it. Both sides of the country. Heat index in Oklahoma is 110. Well, heat index here is, I mean, the humidity is... You missed the weather in Norway. What was it? Was it brisk in Norway? Bit colder? I would imagine. What don't you like about the mountain time zone? Best for sports? Yeah, I just feel a bit detached when, with the mountain time zone. The mountain or western time zone, I feel like I would be detached. Central and eastern are I mean, for sports, you could argue central is probably the best, or mountain. "65 degrees was average high." That's very nice weather. That's a fall weather. We'll get that. Well, maybe a little warm for the fall, but we'll get late September into October. The highs will be in the 60s, mid 60s. Imagine what is that, Hawaii time? Is that what you're saying? Hawaii, I think, is they're 4 hours, so they're one past. Yeah, they're 4 hours behind Eastern. Hawaii is. Do you think there are unconnected, crazy people running around the mountains? Yeah, there's got to be some interesting individuals you might be able to find. I mean, there's a lot of area, There's a lot of area. Especially the mountains out west. Mandatory military service, should we have it? That's an interesting question. I guess it would depend on the studies in terms of like, what are the pros and cons of it? AIPAC removed Randy Fine from their supported candidates. Yeah, because he was making fun of I guess, people starving in Gaza. They're starting to realize it's a terrible look for them. It's good for us. What, mandatory military service? I think it would create probably more animosity against the country. Switzerland has, I mean, smaller countries, but Switzerland is incomparable when you look at the population size of the U.S. compared to it. Doesn't Greece have it? Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Alberta are beautiful. Yeah, you fly over those places, you realize how barren they are. It's pretty remarkable. It's Montana. Are you going to post any more stadium videos, sports news? Yeah, probably. I mean, it's just like, my algorithm is screwed for that. But did you guys see just the slop that was reported Michigan, the University of Michigan, is playing a game in Germany next year, I guess week 1, against Western Michigan. So they're traveling to Germany to basically be 35-point favorites against Western Michigan. Just terrible for the sport. Just horrible. Why do we need to see that game? Well, I guess because of money. Why is that game in Germany? What a waste. Didn't military recruitment... Yeah, it did surge. That's one of the stories. So I don't think we have a big issue with that. Why? I guess because of money. But it's just this stuff gets terrible. It gets watered down. It becomes global. College football becoming global, like, what a waste. Frankfurt, Germany, is that where it is? You can get baseball, basketball, or hockey because those sports have a lot of games, but not football. Yeah, and look at football. They're going to many different countries now. They're going to Brazil. They're going to Germany. They're going to, obviously, the UK. They're going to possibly Ireland, Mexico, Spain. Would you ever live in New Orleans? Nah, it's too hot. It's too hot, and I wouldn't want to live in a bigger city anyways. Elon had the power and ability to interfere with the election. There you go. Who is that? Who is the girl? Notre Dame FSU was in Dublin. Yeah, I know. Whenever they do it in Ireland, they're having another game in Ireland this year. It's not good. The Ireland games don't. None of those games in Europe end up very good. Can somebody explain?
He's from Palestine. He keeps saying free Palestine. He got his face covered up in the Palestine stuff. He walking out. The police don't.
He's saying free Palestine. Well, there you go.
Pay him no mind. I said it's him. And then they end up getting him. They got him and they put him to the ground and they got him. They got him. Tried to bomb it up. I don't know. He tried to bomb it up, and so did the lady. The lady that he came in there with, she left with a red bruise on her face, though. She went down in.
The white lady. That was the lady that they were, like, walking around all over.
He was with him? Rodriguez. Hey, what's up? Leave it right there. Can you do me a favor? Can you...
Cops are acting like NPC. Yeah, there's just a lot of cops swarming around there. Swarming around, getting in and out of cars. Yeah, I mean, I don't see how it could be staged. People always say that, though. You know, but I don't even think this is going to have that big of an impact. People think, well, it's staged or whatever because it's to help Israel. I don't know, man. I mean, we'll see. What race was the shooter? I think black. They said he was Middle Eastern, but from what I saw, he looked like he was black. I don't know who that girl was. People were saying, was that the second shooter, a white woman? Black and Asian? Japanese and black? Imagine when Muslim will be the mayor, the city will be Baghdad. Yeah, I mean, it's just, you're inviting more crime with the policies that he's going to implement. You're legit just inviting more crime. Black knees. Yeah, Mondani talking about it. They don't know what he looks like, possibly white. Bruh.
At any given time.
All right, so Brian, stay with us. The former deputy director of the FBI, Andy McCabe, is with us as well. And Andy, I just want to ask you, you talk about a 44-story building, as Brian is reporting. And what John Miller just said, there were a few things that really stood out there. Among them that they do know what he looks like. Sunglasses, mustache, male, possibly white. And that they were already able to identify various parts of the building where they think he is right now from 911 calls and also possibly video on those elevators, that they were able to move that quickly. And John said they're focused on various floors in the upper parts of the building. Now we don't know his status right now, if that's going to end up being where he is, but they have moved incredibly quickly.
They really have.
Well, they said a white male. New York City going to turn into Ramadi, Iraq. Yeah, New York City it's going to only get worse. So then you got Mondani. Oh, yeah, I guess black Asian. Is he related to the Virginia Tech shooter? No. No, I know what the Virginia Tech shooter looked like. Was the Virginia Tech shooter from South Korea, maybe? Choi? Who's the lady getting arrested? I don't know. They won't talk about it. I haven't seen any update on that. Virginia Tech guy with South Korean. Yeah, that's a shooting that never gets talked about. That was a brutal one. Want anything from McDonald's? Yeah, I'll have an Oreo McFlurry. McFlurries are good. I mean, they really are. Take an Oreo McFlurry. McFlurry machine was broken. It always is. There was a Chinese guy at Virginia Tech that decapitated a girl. That's not what I was talking about. I was talking about the actual shooting. I think he might have killed like 20 people in it. In the Virginia Tech one I'm talking about. $32 people? Real? Oh my. Yeah, that was a really bad one. Another Free Palestine. Yeah, I mean that's what that eyewitness said. He said Free Palestine. So TikTok pays well. Have you considered? I don't think TikTok pays, but I mean, unless they give contracts, I'm not. I don't like doing short form. I don't like doing short form content very much, but I don't think they pay well. I mean, unless you get advertisers, because how do you run ads on 15-second content? Thoughts on Joe Paterno? His legacy it got tarnished. You know, he was an all-time Hall of Fame. He coached way too long, man. He was he like 85 still the head coach of Penn State? And then all that stuff happens. Remember they made that statue and then they had to take the statue down like a year later. You will get millions of views on shorts. Yeah, you'll get more views. It's just I mean, there was nothing, there's nothing stopping me from just uploading, but the thing is, this is the thing. I actually did have a TikTok account. I think it got deleted, unfortunately. It had like 11,000 followers. There was no effort into it, though. It was just repurposed, videos that got turned into shorts. It wasn't like because there's a way where you can specifically make short form content to where you can make a 30-second clip and just talk rather than just taking clips from the long form. Because if you take clips from long form, it's going to be like inauthentic. You're not going to be able to optimize it properly. You do short form, you'll be able to optimize it better. Is it weird watching ASMR feet massages for you to fall asleep? I don't know, man. I mean, massages are like a back massage. I could use a massage, honestly. Now, massages are nice. I don't know about watching them. Sometimes I watch different stretches. You think short form is driving more people to your page? It's a funnel method of, yeah, I know it is. But the thing is a lot of it, it's like Well, even if you had 1 million followers on TikTok, how many of those people follow you to YouTube? You know, it's going to be a significantly less amount. I mean, there is a way to do it, and honestly, it probably should be utilized by creators, the short form stuff, because even if you only, you know, if you're getting that kind of viewership, even if it's only a 15-second thing, and a lot of them won't watch your long form, you know, there's still going to be a percentage of them that cross over. Yeah, they have that poly market odds. I got to look at that. I think Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, maybe. Damn, can this thing load, maybe? Bruh. Out of memory? Man, do I have to delete stuff or some shit? But then Kalshi loads. Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, Bill Gates, Alan Dershowitz, Stephen Hawking. Trump's not in here? Oprah. Hillary. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this live stream. I'm going to end it there. Kevin Spacey admitted he went there. Yeah, but he also said he wanted all the files to come out. I think it's kind of confirmed that he went there. Don't end it. Well, I gotta end it tonight, man. I gotta end it. You know, yeah, that was a good stream. All right, guys, I'll see ya.